is Sam and I'm the head of programs at Launch Academy. I have a special guest here today. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Turgay Birand and I am the founder of EditionGuard, and I've been a maker and entrepreneur for all my professional life. And now here I am at Launch Academy, Canada, talking to you guys. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So let's start with what is EditionGuard? How did it get started and what does it do?
Yeah, so EditionGuard is a software as a service company that I started around 2012. And it actually came out of a real need that I was able to identify when I was doing a lot of contract work as a software developer. So a lot of publishing companies, they wanted to get into ebooks, they still do. It's a growing market. But there was no real method for easily getting like enterprise-grade piracy protection on those ebooks. The systems that existed were really expensive, really complex. So while doing one of these projects, I noticed there could be a SaaS that could fill the gap there. And so that's how the idea came to be. And I just did a little bit of lean testing and put together some duct tape websites basically and tried it out with a few customers, and luckily it worked out and I started getting some customers, so I've been working on that ever since.
And so did you have to experience any pivots in your startup journey from where you started to where you are now?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest pivot I guess we've done was last year. So we completely rebranded our website, changed our colors and everything, and did some quality of life improvements to target more of the enterprise or business plus segment of customers.
So I know you've lived in quite a few different countries and you've traveled, and running EditionGuard has allowed you to be all over the map while still working on something you love building. What are some of those countries and what are your experiences there?
Yeah, so back in I think 2017, we were still living in Istanbul in Turkey. That's what I built EditionGuard and started it. And my family and I, we kind of wanted to try something different. And so we just embarked on a digital nomad lifestyle back then. And so we just packed our bags and put a lot of our stuff in storage, and we just left Turkey and we started visiting countries in Europe first. So we were in Italy for a while, we were in Spain, France, Belgium, Netherlands. Went to a lot of places around the region as well. And we stayed in each country for a little bit, which was a great experience.
How many countries did you actually go to? Do you have a number? Or?
Yeah, so in total, counting Canada, that would be 10 countries. That was over 7 months. So we stayed in some longer, we stayed in some shorter, but the total number of cities was 19 before we got to Canada. And then we kept exploring here as well, and we're still doing that. So yeah, it was a great experience.
So 10 countries, 19 cities, 6 months. What made you decide to come to Canada and settle down here?
Right, so we were in the United States during this period. Permanent travelers, traveling. And while we're in the States, we kind of thought that we'd like to live in the area, live in North America, because it's a place that I'm familiar with. I lived in the United States for about 10 years, went to college there. I was actually there when I was very little as well. So like my first memories in life are from the US. So I've had a long history there, but we stayed there for a bit. It wasn't looking very promising to stay there. And that's what I kind of, I've always been following Canada and been fascinated with the startup visa programs. I've been doing a lot of research on this stuff, as you know, and it's one of the most transparent, most, can I say it, very clear criteria that you need to meet. You just takes in some check boxes and you're able to apply. That was very enticing. The thing about the startup visa program that was stopping me from applying was the criteria for finding an investor that would support you. It could be an incubator, angel, or VC. But my company being a later stage company, I wasn't really keen on giving away equity, or I didn't need to raise money. It was fully bootstrapped with my own money. So that was stopping me, but then I stumbled upon the Maple program, and the Maple program is different from all the others that I saw in that, first of all, Launch Academy is a nonprofit, so that instantly felt a lot better to me because by going through the program, you're helping a nonprofit that's trying to cultivate an entrepreneurial scene. It's already a really good start. And then also saw that there's no like equity going around. You just have a soft landing here, and you go through it, and you get to learn a lot about Canada even before getting here. If you don't want to be here, I was already here, so my situation is very different. But even if you're in your own country, you get to learn remotely. So I felt those were really, really good and unique qualities of the Maple program, which just pushed me to, okay, I'm just going to do this and see what happens.
What type of entrepreneur or founder would you recommend to Maple program?
Right, so I would definitely, first of all, recommend it to established companies because there's really no other program that kind of addresses that segment. A lot of the programs that I've come across they always expect you to be really early stage, or they expect you to be funded in some way. It doesn't matter. If you have revenue, if you have customers, I believe that's always the biggest indication of success. But governments seem to think that getting investment is success. So that's why people like me or companies like mine don't really have many options. So I would definitely recommend it to established companies, but also any other company who has a great idea and who wants to disrupt a tech sector or something like that, wants to be based in North America.
Awesome. And it's not all roses. So what are some of the sacrifices or some of the difficulties that you've had since you've been here?
Right. So for us, we were already on the road, so can't really speak to a lot of the difficulties that are normally entailed with it, but still that means, we just did it earlier than others. And you leave your family behind, probably you're going to leave a lot of friends. You're going to be leaving your comfort zone, which is a great thing, but it's also, like you said, it's not all roses. It can be painful at times. You're going to be coming to a new culture, a new way of doing business, a new way of life. So for me, getting acclimated to all that, and also having my family with me, going through the same thing, that was the most difficult aspect. And also, there's always some uncertainty when you're trying to settle down in a different country. Even though Canada's programs are very transparent and you know what's going on mostly, there's still a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of waiting, which is normal, but that period especially it can be rough because you can't really plan for the future. You don't know what's going to happen in a month or 3 months. You're here temporarily. You're in between worlds for a while. So that was difficult. In terms of risks, it's also you're moving yourself to a new country, and what happens if you don't like it? What happens? You invest a lot of time, a lot of money getting here, and going through these things, and then suddenly you're not approved for whatever reason. Or your company comes here and then suddenly you hit a roadblock that's very specific to the place you're going to. But those are always risks that need to be taken, but then again, entrepreneurs are natural risk takers. So I don't think anything extreme really, but
Has the Maple program helped alleviate some of those risks for you?
Yeah, definitely. So what I can say about the Maple program, having been through it last year, it's gives you a soft landing. That's how I like to describe it. So normally you would just end up here with your suitcases. You're going to be looking for places. You're going to be looking to find an accountant. You want to find someone who knows about immigration. You want to know especially as an entrepreneur, you want to know someone who's connected to the scene. And it's not the easiest place to make connections quickly. That's one thing too. Like, but when I had Maple, it's like, which bank is the best? And you get a lot of answers from local people who are actually interested in helping you. Even simple things like that can be very painful when you're first starting out. Even though, back in your home country, you've had a bank account for 20 years or something. You don't even think about it, but you're in a new country, suddenly, you can get all kinds of roadblocks. And then maybe you're looking for investment, maybe you're looking for a co-founder. All these things, like, you get an answer or you get someone who has the answer or has the potential to get an answer. So all the essential questions you might have during this transition, you can get a lot of those answered. And it's also good to have, like, somebody has your back. It's a big thing. Like, when I get stuck, I should just Slack Sam. Maybe he knows something about it, or just ask Sade when I see her next. These are great things to have. So that is a huge, like, it's not something that's on paper, so it's invisible, but it's actually one of the huge benefits that I really got from this.
So just to wrap things up, for everybody in the audience, what would you ask of them if they're watching this video?
We're always looking to grow, so if you know someone who might have use for EditionGuard, please do send us email or send them our way. And yeah, I'll leave you with that note. It's great to be here. So
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sam.
I appreciate it.